All right, good morning, everybody. We are gonna start in a seated position here. Get a little, make a little adjustment here. Just give me a moment. I don't know if any of you are lucky enough to have a magic keyboard. It's a case that Apple makes. I don't have that right now, but it's on my wish list. And what it does is it sits in a case and it has a keyboard on it, but the actual case part tilts so that it's easy to see the floor. Right now, I make adjustments. Trying to make it not fall over. So if you could imagine it swiveling. There we go. All right. Let's get started. So we're gonna have a seat on the floor, feet crossed. Go ahead and make some space for your glutes and your hamstrings. Get the sits bones down on the ground. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Palms up. And let's just take a few breaths here. All right, let's go ahead and place the right hand down on the ground, reach the left hand up and over. Keeping your sits bones grounded, keep switching back and forth. Nice deep breath, inhale, reach to the side. Exhale and bring it back down, switching side to side. And every time you reach from side to side, think about your hip bones, really staying connected to the ground, and then dropping your shoulders opposite of that side. You might feel some tightness in your low back. You might notice that needs a little stretching. We're just tuning into that right now because when we get into a few of our stretches today, like child's pose and threading the needle, we're gonna give that tight area some love. If you don't feel any tightness there, good for you. It's gonna be a little more gentle stretching for you. Let's go ahead and leave it on one side now. Go ahead and reach one arm up and over and hold it. Let's take a few breaths. Nice deep breath. Inhale into your rib cage. And exhale. Good, now inhale into your belly. And exhale. One more deep breath. And exhale. Let's switch sides. Good, grounding through that sits bone. Reach with the hand. Inhale, rib cage. Good, into your belly. Into your sits bone. Good, center it up. And let's walk our hands forward, tucking the chin, stretching out through the low back. Just sit here for a moment and enjoy. Take some deep breaths. All right, let's slowly roll it up. We're gonna take our legs out in front of us today. Hands behind us to hold ourselves upright. Let's just drop our knees from side to side. Gonna do a little bit of rotation through the hips and the low back. All right, let's pause for a moment and then take your feet a little further apart. So right outside of hip width, and let's drop those knees again. Go ahead and rotate the other way. One more time. Nice job. Okay, feet together. Let's open up for a little butterfly stretch. Soles of the feet together. We're just gonna walk our sits bones. See if you can walk your hips closer to your heels or bring your heels closer to your hips. As close as you can get them. All right, let's take a nice deep breath. Inhale, take the crown of your head to the ceiling. And then exhale, tuck your chin and use your elbows to push your knees down. Good, let's hold here and breathe. All right, let's take it to all fours. Knees are gonna be hip width apart. We're gonna curl the toes under. Curl the toes under and press through the toes. We're gonna push back just for a second, just to really stretch through those toes. Good. Hands directly underneath the shoulders. I want you to just slowly start rounding up. Toes are curled under, pressing through your toes, ground into your toes, belly button into your spine, tuck your pelvis under, squeeze your glutes, gaze is on your thighs. This is cat. Drop the tops of your toes down to the ground, drop your tummy down toward the ground, gaze up. This is cow. Let's do some rocking on our own. Pelvic rocking between cat and cow. Check your breathing. Exhale on cat, drop down, inhale on cow. Good, keep rocking. And let's set it back for child's pose. Good. With child's pose, reaching your tailbone back towards your heels. Fingertips, try to walk them just an inch higher than they currently are. Inhale. As you exhale, pull your hips away from your fingertips. Your fingertips are the anchor. Good. From this position, I just want you to try rocking your hips side to side. So when we were in that upright position, we were sitting and we were rocking our knees side to side. This should feel somewhat like that. You might notice they have a little more leverage, right? Your body weight is right over your legs to really stretch them out. All right, let's come up onto all fours, curl the toes under, and let's round up through the belly button into the spine, tuck under for cat, take a breath, inhale. Exhale, let's take it all the way up for downward facing dog, pressing through the heels, alternating between our right and left foot to stretch out through our toes, our calves. Good, now let's take a nice deep breath, inhale and press through both heels. Inhale, exhale here. Good, chest to the thigh. Belly button into the spine, tailbone to the ceiling. Shoulders are away from the ears. Let's hold here and breathe. Good. Now we're gonna walk or hop our feet towards our hands. Hands to the shins or the thigh. Take a flat back look up. Exhale back to forward fold. Good. Holding here in forward fold, I want you to shift your hips from side to side again. So think about what our hips do. Our hips are a ball and socket joint. So ball and socket means rotation, right? So are our ankles. So let's think about that. Our knee, not a ball and socket, it's a hinge. It only moves forward and back. So having some mobility between your ankles and your hips, being able to rotate, so good. Hey, nice. Okay, let's slowly roll it up. Good. We're gonna take a nice deep breath. Inhale, arms come overhead. Good. Give me a tiny back bend. Exhale, back for forward fold. Good. And now let's walk or hop our feet back into a plank. We're in plank position. Shoulders, let's hold this for a moment. Think about shoulders pressing back and down towards the tailbone. Turn that core on. Good, squeeze through the glutes. Good, and stretch through your toes a little bit here. Good, then you can go to your knees if you like. We're gonna tuck those elbows in nice and tight for chaturanga. Good, toss the toes to the mat. Inhale for cobra. Good, with cobra, we can go to sphinx where our elbows are on the floor and we're just firing our low back muscles, or you can extend those hands. If you feel any back pain here, you wanna make sure that you can turn your glutes on, see if that helps protect your back a little bit better. The crown of your head faces the ceiling. Key in cobra, we don't want our chin to be jutting forward. We don't want to be looking up at the ceiling. We should be looking straight ahead, shoulders back and down. Good, let's push back into child's pose. Nice, let's go through some sun salutations. And then we'll be finishing on the floor today and stretching through our hips and shoulders with pigeon and shoulder roll. All right, let's take it to all fours, curl the toes under, round up for cat. Good, pick your knees up, press back up for downward facing dog, gaze on your thigh. Hold here for a moment, we cue this one more time. On this one, tailbone to the ceiling, belly button into your spine. Your knees can be soft, shoulders are out of your ears. Okay, you don't have to have your legs straight for this one. As you exhale, you wanna think about your chest coming closer to your thighs. Think about your bicep and your ear coming into alignment. So your head should not be ahead of your bicep. Your goal is to, without moving your head, without moving it, keeping it neutral, start working towards opening up your lats and your chest muscles to where your ears naturally line up with your bicep. All right, let's go ahead and walk or hop it forward. Come to a flat back and look up. This is where we inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Tiny back bend. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk or hop to a plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Tops of toes to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale, come to all fours, curl the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk or hop your feet forward, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, look up one more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk or hop to a plank. Good. Exhale, chaturanga. Tops of the toes to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale to all fours. Curl the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk or hop your feet forward, flat back, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Tiny back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk or hop to a plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Tops of the toes to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale to all fours, curl the toes under, round up, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet forward, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Tiny back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk or hop to a plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Tops of the toes to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Good. Exhale, let's bring it down from here. Both arms to the side. Let's take it to shoulder roll. So bend your right elbow and your right knee. Place your right foot back behind you and reach the right hand up. We're rolling over onto our left arm. Just want to make sure when you're doing this one that your arm is still extended. Most people have a tendency to want to move that left arm. So once again, stay there, guys. Just visual for anyone that has trouble. My left arm is out. I'm going to roll over and keep that left arm out behind me and reach that hand up. And then maybe reach back towards it a little bit more. Advanced, both knees toward the ceiling, and we breathe. And let's center that up. So we're going to come back to cobra. So we just rolled over onto our left arm. Now we're going to take our left arm and thread the needle. So I'm going to go palms up underneath my right arm. I'm going to lie down right on top of my left arm. My right shoulder comes to the inside of the elbow. Head is on the ground. And we'll relax into our stretch. All right, let's center up. Cobra. I'm going to lay down flat. Both arms out to the side. Bend your left elbow and your left knee. Shoulder roll right. Bring that foot back. Gaze on the ceiling. Reaching the left hand up. And then if you can reach your left hand back towards your right hand. Head is off of the ground here. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can try both knees toward the ceiling. And we breathe. So here we are in rotation again. So the shoulder joint is also a ball and socket joint. And there's lots and lots of rotation that goes on between the hips and the shoulders. Earlier, we talked about rotation with the ankles and the hips. And now we're talking about hips to shoulder. We're actually not just talking about it, we're stretching it. So if you notice a difference on one side over the other, you can always go back to, say, if you notice the other side for shoulder roll was tighter, you can always go back and stretch that side twice. Make sure your head is off the ground, strengthening the neck. Gaze is on the ceiling or your best. Just do your best. All right, let's go ahead and come on out of that. Come up for Cobra. Good, and we're gonna thread the needle with the right arm. So right palm comes up and under the left shoulder or the left arm. You're gonna lay down on the right shoulder. Your left shoulder comes to the inside of your left elbow, or of your right elbow. Left shoulder, right elbow. Head is on the ground. Try to relax your body here. Imagine your left arm being a zombie arm. It just goes limp. It's just not there. All right, let's come on up for Cobra. Exhale and push back for child's pose. And let's explore that rotation with the hips again. So here I want you to take your knees nice and wide. Take them really wide, toes touching, but knees are wide. You're just gonna drop down into this child's pose and try to work on some rotation out of the hips. This is gonna be our warm up for low back and hip release. So remember, if you're really feeling tight and you feel like this feels better than the next step, you can always just come back to this particular stretch. You want to be able to breathe and relax into your stretches. You don't want them so intense that you're fighting them. All right, let's go ahead and come up to all fours. Knees directly underneath the hips. And I'm going to have you curl your toes under. We're going to take our left hand, thread the needle underneath the right, and drop the left shoulder to the ground. Straighten your right arm to where your bicep is by your right ear, and put your gaze at your left fingertips. Now lean your hips to the left corner of your mat. Tuck your pelvis under just a little bit, like we were doing when we did cat. So pelvis tucked under. And think about pulling the left corner of your hip away from the left shoulder. Feel a good stretch in your low back here. Nice. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Coming up to all fours, you can take your right hand, palms up, place it underneath your left arm, drop your right shoulder to the floor, tuck your pelvis under and lean your hips to the right. Left arm comes up overhead. Bicep is by your left bicep by your left ear. Your gaze is on your right fingertips. Guys, let's center it back up. Sit back in child's pose for a moment. See if child's pose feels a little more comfortable to you now that you've stretched out your low back a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and bring our tailbone up toward the ceiling and walk your fingertips forward. This is called puppy. So this one will help focus on stretching through your lats. So my tailbone is up, my toes are curled under, kind of like how we do cat. All right, tops of the toes to the mat, pull it back again for a child's pose. And let's just roll it up slowly. So we're gonna take a moment to do all fours, not all fours, excuse me, figure four. I'm gonna take a moment to do figure four. And on that one, even if you're used to pigeon, let's start with figure four today. We're gonna play with that just a little bit. Okay, so figure four. All you're gonna do is take your right ankle, cross it to your left knee. And then if your muscles are tight here, you can just place one hand on your right knee to stretch it, or you can start to increase the amount of stretch you get by lifting your left leg up. You can take your right hand, thread it between your legs and grab a hold of your left thigh, clasp your fingertips together, and then you can give yourself a gentle tug here. So I'm using my hands behind my thigh. Okay, sometimes people grab their shin. Do not grab your shin here. That's not good for your knee. Hand behind your thigh. And then I'm going to use my right elbow. If you're flexible for this, guys, use your right elbow to push your right knee away from your body. So we're just starting with a nice little capsule stretch here. Now, one thing you can do if you want to play around with this a little bit is you can start to move your legs from side to side. So picture me driving my right knee down towards the floor on my right side, and then driving my right foot towards the floor on my left side. So it's just a gentle rocking, just to explore range of motion there. All right, now if you have the mobility for this, whether your foot is on the floor, your left foot is on the floor or up, I want you to just take both arms out to the side and drop your knees to your left. Drop everything to the left. Both arms out. So I've still got the figure four. My foot could be on the floor. My left foot could be on the floor, and I could bring my right foot to the floor, or deeper stretch. I'm still driving up with my left leg and dropping the knee to the side. Both shoulders stay on the ground. All right, let's center it up. Let's try the other side. Both feet are on the floor. Cross your left ankle over to your right knee. Use your left hand to stretch by pressing your left knee away from your body. That feels easy. Go ahead and reach your left hand behind your right thigh. Clasp your right hand and left hand together. Use your right leg to create some tension into the left hip. You can also use your left elbow and push your left knee away from your body. right. Now let's go ahead and drop both legs over to the right side. So from wherever you're at, if your knee was on the floor and you just had your leg out, if you're really, really tight, just drop those legs over as best you can, just to get a stretch on that low back. The closer your right knee is to your right hand, the bigger the stretch on your left hip. Let me say that again. The closer your right knee is to your right hand, the bigger the stretch on your left hip. So you can also just try from this position just to kind of walk that leg up to increase that stretch. Do you feel how this almost feels like pigeon? It's a nice gentle introduction to it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and center that back up. Let's just lengthen our legs and arms for just a moment. Hands overhead. Just take a stretch. You know that nice stretch feel the way where you want to take time to just yawn, but I don't know, maybe you're like me or get busy and you wake up and you're like, jump out of bed. Let's just stretch for a moment. Okay. Go ahead and roll over to your left side. Push ourselves back into child's pose for a moment. And then come up to all fours, curl the toes under. Come on up for downward facing dog. Let's go ahead, inhale, float the right leg up for three-legged dog. Circle your ankle 3 times clockwise. Good, and 3 times counter. Good, now bend your right knee, flex your foot. Drop your right foot back behind you towards your left hip. And breathe. Okay, go ahead and straighten that right leg up. Okay, pull it in for a nice high plank. And let's go into pigeon. Now, this is where you could go back to figure 4 if that's a more comfortable stretch for you. So where you lie on your back and cross your leg. Okay, this is where we breathe. Want to make sure your right foot is flexed. Your right shin is parallel to the front of your mat. Do not tuck your right foot under you. Okay. If you need to, in pigeon, you can pull your left leg forward, but you need to have your sits bone on the ground. Okay. So only walk that left leg back if you can keep your right sits bone on the ground. Keep breathing. When you increase that stretch, you can come up onto your fingertips and think about your chest coming up toward the sky. Good. Now earlier when we were in figure 4, we had you move your foot across the midline of your body, but you can also in pigeon walk your hands across the midline of your body. Let's go ahead and walk our hands towards our knees and really reach your left hand up and over as far as you can to get a good stretch on your left lat. And let's walk our hands back to center and walk our hands towards our foot. So towards the right foot, reach your right hand across and breathe into your right rib cage. Also into your belly, but really think about that right rib cage. Excellent. Let's walk it back to center. And now let's see if we can hold ourselves upright. I think this one's hard. Belly button into your spine, shoulders come up. Start reaching toward the ceiling. If you can, clasp your hands together behind you to open your chest, or hands can be on your hips. All right, let's go ahead and walk that right leg back. So hands are gonna come in front of your knee and your foot. You're gonna curl your back toe under and step that foot back. And then let's go ahead and place the right foot back up for one more hamstring stretch. Fire your right glute. And then let's place the right foot down and float the left leg up. Inhale here. Good. Circle your ankle 3 times clockwise and 3 times counterclockwise. Good. Go ahead and bend your left knee and drop your left heel back behind you. And breathe. Okay, go ahead and straighten that left leg out. Come to a high plank with a knee tuck. I'm gonna bring the left ankle towards the right wrist and make sure that the left shin is parallel to the ground or parallel to the tip of your mat. I'm gonna walk our hands forward and breathe. Good. If you want to increase that stretch, come up onto your fingertips and bring your chest forward. And now let's see if we can walk our hands towards our left knee. Really stretching through the right lat. And then let's walk our hands towards our left foot. We center it up. Good, and walk it back up. See if you can hold yourself up. And let's breathe. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and place our hands in front of our shin. Curl it back under. Give me one more good stretch for that right hamstring coming up for three-legged dog. And both feet to the ground. Take it to a high plank, chaturanga. Tops of the toes to the mat. One more time for cobra. Oh, nice. Good. Let's bring it down and roll over onto our backs for Shavasana. Glorious. All right, palms up. Good. Tighten up your fists. Tighten up your ankles. Squeeze your glutes, shoulders. Tighten it all up. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale. And then exhale, release everything. Let your body just melt into your mat. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto our side. Sit up nice and tall. And we are done. Christy, are you holding a puppy? Happy Saturday, everybody. Guys, it looks like maybe the sun's coming out. Super excited about that. Thanks for joining us for yoga, everybody.